Have y'all really come to the understanding that being on the earth is really, truly about being on the earth? And it's really about you. You are your project. We are our own project. We get so involved thinking that we have to make a big mark and we have to make a big splash or something fantastic outside to impress others. But when we love self, we are actually doing more impact to the energy around us. Say, I know this.
I know this.
Oh, you're so good.
I need to hear that.
Okay. We all need to hear it because we all still have those human frailties and those human consciousness issues that we have to walk through. And that's what we've been talking about. But I really wanted us to really understand you are you. You are the project. You are the one that you really need to be working on and focusing on and loving. Because your light impacts the whole exactly how you are. For both pro and con, we are impacting. All right, let me bring us up to date. Have you guys been coming?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know, we're using the Aquarian. Before Jesus began his ministry, there was a meeting of the sages of the world at that time, and they were putting forth postulates of a concept of creation that if human man could understand these points, then we could come together as one unity. We'd be unified in our look at Creator God, at God, and then we could all start evolving together. And that was this big plan that they put out. And Jesus told them, he said, that's a great plan, but the earth isn't ready for it yet. So my Father has asked me to teach one postulate, one truth, that God is love and we are Son of God. And until mankind knows love, all these other ideas will be empty. And the meeting was adjourned, Jesus did his thing. And we all know that story. We all are very aware of Christendom, how the light had to go deep and dark within the consciousness of man, and many, many things were lost and many things were done for the sake of Christendom, in the name of Christendom, that wasn't based on Jesus' teachings of love. But it had to go deep into the soil so it could rebirth and come out. And in the last 2,000 years, do you think we're doing okay? Do you think we're getting that God is love and we're children of God and we're God's children, we're loved?
Yep.
Yes.
Some of us are getting there, okay. Here's your review. I could go on with that point for like a couple of days. The precepts that would create this universal concept, this universal church, were that we're all thought, God thought created, we create with thought. Is anybody still working with the wave, particle, magnet, matter?
Yes.
Yes, energy is a wave, becomes a particle, becomes a magnet, becomes matter. Review it, you can listen to the service on YouTube. And we also taught about how thought is a language, how what we are thinking is actually being communicated to those around us. Anybody been watching your thoughts? More aware of that. Anybody been picking up the language of other people? Okay. And so, awareness is the first step. Then we talked about how we too went into the darkness. Our souls came into the darkness so we could learn how to be this creative child of God. And we talked about how love flows freely and emotions attach and bind. Love flows freely, but emotions attach and bind. And so we talked about how to deal with that, and that self-love awakens us to God-love. When we're in the free-flowing love of God, then the emotions are not binding us into judgment against self. So easy. You guys have been doing so good on this, right? Check, check. Done it. No problem. Okay, good. So, we're still in matter. Thoughts create, emotions bind. We're still living in this world of matter. So I wanted to take us to the next precepts. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
This is the last service on these particular ideas. So, sometimes I think I'm teaching a classroom of children they take a breath and they go, how much longer is this going to go on? Yeah, this is the last one. Everybody gets bright. Okay, I can do one more. Here we go. 59:2. The soul is drawn to perfect light by 4 white steeds. These are will, faith, helpfulness, and love. Pretty simple, pretty easy. All right. Let me give us our goal. The universal love of which the sages speak is Christ. And just if anyone's new with this today, just let me tell you. We truly do believe with all of our heart that every single person that inhabits the planet in mankind, or ever has, is child of God, and there's a spark of divinity within them. We use the word Christ to denote that spark of divinity. So Muslims have Christ in them, Jewish faith has Christ in them. It doesn't matter what faith. If they're animated, if you are alive, the spark of divinity is within you, and we use the word Christ to denote that. And so do they, as a matter of fact. So, here we go. The greatest mystery of all times lies in the way that Christ lives in the heart. Yeah, Christ cannot live in the clammy dens of carnal things. The 7 battles must be fought. The 7 victories must be won before the carnal things like fear and self and emotions and desires are put away. When this is done, the Christ will take possession of the soul, the work is done, and man and God are one. So simple, right? When we can bring that perfection into the 7 chakras, into the areas of our lives. If you don't know anything about chakras, that's fine. We have areas of our life that we function in, and you all know this. You know this. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So the ideal is to bring that beautiful love into all the areas of our life, and then we can truly feel we are one with God. That's our goal. And you guys do know when you feel one with God, don't you? You have those moments. We all do, because we're human. We have those moments. But to feel it all the time, to feel it in everything that we're doing. One of my greatest examples that I've told many, many years, when my son was really little, like 2, maybe 3, I would meditate in my room, and I'd say, honey, put the TV on, sit in front of the TV. I'd go meditate. Because I was by myself, I was a single mom. And I'd be meditating. I'd hear, Mommy, 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 door opens. I'm still trying to meditate. Mommy, Mommy, those little pushes on you? Mommy, Mommy, Mommy. Now I'm going from the space of feeling God's love. And I would turn and I would look at him with the most interesting energy. And I would say, what do you want? Now that's a perfect example of God not being with me in that moment. How in my meditation I could feel Spirit, but my will to continue to stay there was in conflict with His will for me not to stay there. And so I stepped out of that fast, the flow. And so we all do that all the time. We always do it. And this is just an example for you to just realize when we're in God's love, we think we're always going to be there. Something happens. So these are the 4 steeds that will help pull us back to that space. All right, they bring us into perfect alignment in the areas of our life. So we want to feel that same peace, that nirvana in our soul, in every area of our life. So think about your areas as this. Think about physicality. Think about your emotions. Think about your ability to accomplish. Think about what you say. Okay. Think about how you think. Think about what you think your purpose is. All of these areas, we want to have that beautiful energy of God moving through always. That's the goal. That's the goal. All right. Will is the first steed. And this is what it says. That which one wills to do, he has the power to do. Will is the power aspect of harnessing God power through us. We define God as infinite, unlimited love, peace, power. Our will is what we use to access that God power, to harness it so that it moves through us. Everybody with me? When I am using my will, I'm still probably accessing God power, but I'm using it to create things that serve me at a very me-focused level. When I move into God will, now I'm asking my will, my ability to focus God power, I'm aligning it with God will, and I'm asking it to flow through me. When that happens, it still blesses me, but it blesses all. God, love, God will always blesses all. So, anything that we desire could be a blessing for us. It's perfectly great to desire ice cream, isn't it? And isn't that sometimes just the most amazing blessing? It can be an awesome blessing. But if I desire ice cream and don't want anybody else to have any, now I've moved from blessing to ownership. Now I've moved into clutching it for myself. I've moved into personal will. And likely, will it bless me as much as it could have? No. So I want you to really see, when we're moving into being one with God will, we're bringing in joy for all. If I am happy, all can be happy. If I am happy, I'm giving permission for everyone to be happy. If I'm trying to walk in the will of God, then I'm open to it blessing everyone, not just me. It takes that self-reference away. You guys do pretty good on this, don't you? Do you all ask that God's will be done? And most of us are taught to pray, we want this, this, and this or greater God. Or we want this, this, and this. Be specific, as one of our teachers here is always talking about. Be specific and then say, whatever's for my highest and best. But I want to go on record saying this. But your will be done, whatever's for my highest and best, because we all often do not know what's for our highest and best. How to do your will, how to use this steed, is to ask, what can I do to bring harmony and love to my world? And then take an action step toward that. In accessing your will with God, well, what can I do to bring love and harmony into my world? Does this make sense? All right. The second steed is faith, and that's for the knowledge of that power is faith. When faith moves, the soul begins its flight. All right. Faith will enacts the power, and faith allows greater things to be discovered. My knowing becomes connected to the infinite presence and the potential of God. In faith, I become open to greater. I can know I am greater, and I can be greater. So let's tie those two together. Will, letting God love move through me. Faith is the ability to see the unseen, or the ability to connect to the unseen. And to have faith that this unseen will move through and the power will make it right. Any one of you that has asked for a resolution to a problem that you had no answer to, did not the resolution, and you gave it to God, did not the resolution come from left field? Something you could not have seen, someone you did not know stepped forward and handled it, something you had no power to control in your world stepped forward and took care of the issue. Yes. How many times has this happened? When we have the faith to let our will be aligned with something greater, and the faith takes us into what we cannot see or know. If you know, if you're doing it your way, it's what you've always done, it's what you always will do, and you'll always get the same result. If it's got to be your way, it's never going to change. It's going to be the way it's always been. But the faith lets you reach into a higher realm. I was going to share this with you guys. I have heard a lot of people use this affirmation, and this is activating their faith. My God is bigger than this problem. Have you ever heard that? And they throw that down. My God's bigger than this problem. Oof. They are actually activating faith and will when they say that. And they're standing in it with a great sense of authority. And I'm just going to wait and see what God's got to do. It's power, it's peace. And when they do that, they're calling the God energy in, and they're accepting however it comes. Right? I trust the universe will put me in the right and perfect place. I trust that the unseen will appear before me. Every affirmation that you do is actually an activation of will and faith. Do you realize that? Every affirmation. No matter what that is. I'm choosing this. I'm calling forth a beautiful experience. I live in an abundant, thriving universe. I am surrounded by people who love and adore me, and I love and adore them. Whatever it is, we're activating faith and will. So affirmations are our keys. We could do this in every area of our life, and that would be enough, wouldn't it? If we're having a challenge with our accomplishments, we could write an affirmation for that. Say it repeatedly. I can do anything. If you're having a challenge with emotions or having a challenge with relationships, anything that you're having a challenge with, think affirmation and think you're activating now those two steeds, the will and faith. When you do that, are you impacting power? When you do that, are we not using thought and emotion? It goes right back to the basic building blocks. We're using thought and emotion with a purpose to change our world. How many of you think about writing an affirmation for yourself when you have something that you're going through? Okay, oh, fabulous. This is amazing. I love this. This is awesome. I just wanted to say this because I've seen this happen many times in our circle. I'll see a group of people talking about an issue, and someone will be sharing an issue. So there'll be a group of people going, yeah, blah, 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 talking about that issue. One person will say, God's got this. Everybody shuts up. There's nothing else to say. Because everybody goes, no, God's got this. It's done. That's how powerful it is when we can affirm the unseen into the seen. That's how powerful it is. All right. Now the second two steeds, you ready? Because will and faith is all about us working with God, isn't it? It's about me and God, and I love this, and I'm really good at me and God. I love me and God. Does anybody remember the third one? Oh, it's helpfulness. Good girl. Helpfulness. Oh, okay. All right. This says, a selfish faith leads not to light. There is no lonely pilgrim on the way to light. Men only gain the heights by helping others gain the heights. Helpfulness. This is sharing energy with others. It creates a sense of oneness. We are all important, and we're all in this together. As I get greater light, I share greater light. As I am lifted up, I can help lift up others. I can bring them up with me. We can all enjoy it together. When we look at helpfulness in our world, we tend to look for people who are experiencing what we would consider less than. We would consider, I don't want to experience that, therefore they must be uncomfortable in that experience. Let me say that again. I don't want to have that amount of income that they have. I want to have this amount of income. Therefore, they must be very uncomfortable where they are. Therefore, I should feel bad for them, and I should take some of my income and I should take it to them and I should give it to them. Any relatives do that to you? Mm-hmm. Okay. Sorry. All right. We tend to look for people, our world teaches us to look for people that we deem less than where we are. Now, is that really helpfulness? No. What are you doing? You're saying you're not child of God and capable of doing anything you want to do? You're projecting. Thank you. You're not lifting them up. You're not seeing them empowered. What most of us do when we're being helpful is we take somebody else's problems on ourselves. The other day I was at Kroger. The little boys are selling candy. I love those little they're just pint-sized little people. And they're selling candy for the Boy Scouts. Now I don't want candy. And I thought to myself, well, I want to contribute. I really do. But I don't want to make it a problem for myself. Because if I buy their candy, now I have a problem. I have to go find somebody to give that candy to. And I don't want to do that. But I wanted to be helpful to their little lights. So I just gave them a little $5 bill, wasn't much, and their little light lit. And they were so happy to put it in their little tin, and I drove away. And I was good with that. So often when we do the helpfulness as Americans, is in our current mindset, we do make it our problem. But what we want to do is help with light. See people empowered when we help. And I love being helped. I love being helped. You know, I can do Bible all day long. And anybody want to do Bible, we'll sit down and talk it, and I love it. No problem. I can do a lot of things I'm really, really good at. There are some things I'm not. Believe it or not.
Like cooking.
But the reality is, I don't think people come forward to say, hey, Cindy, how are you? Do you need some help with something? Other than when they see me really upset. But why not? We have in this room, you can look at this room, we have some of the brightest minds in the United States in this room. You guys don't know this, it's a secret, but it's true. We have talent galore here. It's amazing. So, it's okay for y'all to help me. It's okay to help each other. It's okay to bring our gifts to the table. It's okay to share. You know? Everybody needs help. Everybody needs help. We all want to be lifted in those spaces where we're a little crooked. And then we lift someone else where they're a little crooked. And then we all become this higher family of connectedness. You see? And it's not a bad thing to give. If you want to give financial support to someone, please do. But do it, see the God in them. I behold the God in you. I see you strong and capable. And I'm just guided right now to give this to you. And I hope it's a blessing in this moment. Do it. Enjoy it. There's no strings. Do it and enjoy it. You see? Now, you're in helpfulness. What they're truly also saying is if you're not helping, you're not taking those steps. There's no lonely pilgrim on the path. We're always surrounded by people. Always surrounded by love. We need to help. If you don't have enough people in your world to help, check your heart. See, does somebody need my gifts, my talents, my abilities? You'd be amazed. Or maybe somebody you're sitting next to at work. Could be anything. All right. So, helpfulness helps others gain the heights while we are being lifted to the heights. And the last one is love. The steed that leads the way to spirit life is love. It's pure, unselfish love. The universal love, child of God, sent forth to the earth. Universal love that lives in the heart and that can dwell in all the 7 areas of your life. That universal love, when this is done, the Christ takes possession of the soul, and God and man are one. This is perfect man. To bring before the triune God a being such as this was a natural made. The consummation is the highest revelation of the mysteries of life. When all the essences of carnal things have been transmuted into soul, and all the essences of soul have been returned to holy breath, man is made a perfect God. The drama of creation will conclude, and that is all. We have not even begun to understand what any of that means. But we can begin to understand that there is a life we can live here on this planet, in this world of manifest, that is filled with this beautiful sense of God love. That is us knowing infinite potential, infinite love, infinite power flowing through us. And that is our job and our responsibility. Sometimes it requires us to have conscious thought to move through our issues. Sometimes it just requires us to have faith that we are spirit. And if we can know we are spirit, and we can know I created this reality that I'm living in, I created this, then I can also know that with God it can be uncreated. Every prison that you walk into, you have the key to exit. We don't know it, we don't remember it. We've hidden them well, but we do. We can open the doors with spirit. We can open the doors with just trusting. One of the great gifts that Jesus gave to the planet that I think that we forget, when he came and brought the divinity, he brought divinity and expressed it through man, through a physical body. The miracle healings, the miracles of manifestation, the miracles of walking on water. You know the beautiful story where he's out walking on water and Peter gets out of the boat and says, Lord, if that's you, I'm going to walk with you. And Peter's out walking on the boat, walking on the water. And as a child in church, they always said, oh, that poor Peter, he lost his faith. And as an adult, I say, what about the other 11? They never left the boat. We miss all these things because we're still in the boat. We miss all the capacity that we have to expand, to grow, to be greater. So what? We drop in the water a minute. Get back up. But we have to start exercising that faith to have power over what is appearing at us. Okay, if I participated in this creation, I can bring in the love of God and ask that something harmonious and beautiful come from this. If I participated in it, and I did, because I'm attached to it, I'm going to call forth beautiful harmony and love. Get out of the boat. Step on the waters of expecting that deep miracle to occur. Step on those waters of expectation. Those are the gifts that Jesus Christ brought. He said, I got so much more to tell you people. You don't have an understanding yet, so I can't tell you yet. Who knows? He might have been going to teach us about the wave, the particle, the magnet, the matter. Who knows what he was going to share? But we're ready now. And we're ready to act as he did. Everything I do, you can do, and greater. And we all know in the Aramaic idioms and language, when people would say in Jesus' name, do this in my name, it meant do as I have done. Don't use my name as a magic wand. Do what I've done. That's what's time. To take all the beautiful energy, to take what we know, and to take care of what? Do we need to heal the world, people? No. Who's our project? Us. So we bring into our world those things that bring the little miracles that are so wonderful for us. My miracles are amazing. I love them, and I am in awe of every one that I receive. You might go, no, it's a small miracle. For you, maybe. For me, it's fabulous. We all have different varying degrees of what we need to grow. So the precept, bottom line of the universal church that was talked about 2,000 years ago was basically, you are a child of God. You are a creator. Create what makes you happy and live in love. Enjoy this earth plane. We have no idea what this earth plane's about. None. We may all cross over at the end of time and it may be, oh, that was your training. Now we're going to have you all go do something else. Well, I intend to wear a badge that says I graduated from the earth plane. I intend to graduate. You know? And we do that by waking up while we're here. And just loving every moment of it. The masters say, in Life and Teachings of the Masters of the Far East, when every chakra is dominated by the idea of love, you will Christ. When all areas of your life is dominated by the energy of love, you will Christ. Fully. You will take that Christ spark within you and it will become full in your body and in your life. Let's go with it. Just feel a beautiful light coming over you. Feel the love of God just pouring into your body, mind, and spirit. And see a column that's just for you. A beautiful column of light that is unique to your energy, your frequency. A beautiful color. And I want you to begin to feel that there is an energy of sacredness in this column of light. You are the beloved, sacred child of God. You, God's child. And let this beautiful love just continue to feed, moving into your mind and your heart, your stomach, all the way down to the feet. And just feel this unlimited space. By your will, see a spark of energy. By your faith, see a spark of energy. By your helpfulness, see a spark of energy. And by your love, and feel that love pouring from your heart into this sacred space. You are a child of God. And by these energies, you have Creator in you. And as you feel the peace, just think of an area in your life that may need a little tweaking right now. It could be anything you're going through. And take a breath and just send love and send light to that space. I am willing to open for divine intervention, and I'm willing to demonstrate my trust. Feel the presence of Jesus Christ standing by your side. Just take His hand. Feel His knowing, His guidance, His peace. And know that He walks with you, ever present. And feel your gratitude. Father, I ask that you bless everyone here, everyone that hears the words, and let them feel they are unlimited. And shower us with that love that passes all believing into knowing. Breathe it in. Let your focus come back to your chair. Feel that you are still in a sacred space. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. The precepts of a universal church. Are we ready? Well, you have all graduated from class. Say yay, go.
Yay, go.